Thank you for watching. My name's Angelo with Freedom Mobile Living. This is the third video in my series of 3 of why I became a nomad. If you haven't watched the first 2 videos, I encourage you to stop right now and go ahead and watch those and then come back here and resume this video itself. Now, I believe Christ has prepared me all my life for this journey that I am, that started in August 2020, where I became a nomad, living in my RAV4 as a mobile bedroom. I work remotely, so I'm not bound by the restraints of a traditional lifestyle to do God's work. On October 15th of 2021, I sold my 2014 RAV4 and then moved into a 2017 Ram ProMaster van, and then did kind of a self-build with hopes of doing a more permanent one in the future. Now, when I moved from the RAV4 to the van, it was almost like living in a mansion compared to the RAV4. The problem I had with it is that I still had the RAV4, so I had to tow the RAV4 in order to do my work as a nomad, because at that time I was just exclusively doing rideshare, and so I'd have to transform my RAV into a car during the day where I could take passengers. The only problem with that is that I wasn't really thrilled about the ProMaster. I just thought a lot of the extra space I had into it was costing me more because I was traveling it. So instead of having it where I could transform and utilize the space totally, it was almost like it was very cumbersome. It was like a noose around my neck in some cases. Since I'm only one person, I can only move one vehicle at the time, or I had to tow it in order to do what I needed to do. So it's very important to me to not only have a vehicle where I can have a bedroom, a mobile bedroom, but the second thing is I have to create income out of it. So the van wasn't even it wasn't even really logical for me. I did try to adopt it into deliveries, like for Roadie and for DoorDash and stuff like that, but economically it wasn't really good for me. I didn't like it. I kept on missing the RAV4 living in it because it was convenient for me. I could live and be incognito. It was easier to get around and going from one city to another, and it was also economical as far as gas consumption. It gets like 32 miles per gallon opposed to 12 and 14 on the van. So that eventually I got to a point where I sold the van, and I used that money that I sold it for, because it was almost paid off, and I went ahead and put it down on a newer RAV4, and that made my payments being almost obsolete as far as with the RAV4. So I didn't really have a lot of overhead with that. Now, my desire is to help people who are looking for a better meaning of life, the life I believe Christ intended us all to live. Now, we were all born, but we weren't born to be bound by material things. He was an example, and I believe he's the original nomad that was a minimalist. Now, come journey with me as I travel down the road that Christ created for me. And that's really why the purpose of me being a nomad, but also my purpose of doing the YouTube channel, is many people have asked questions about how I do it and in which manner I do it, and why did I choose a RAV4 over other ones. Now, if you become a nomad, the first thing I think you have to figure out, and I didn't figure this out until maybe a year and a half after being a nomad, and one thing I had to figure out is what was more feasible for me. One thing I like about the RAV4 is I literally can go into a city and I can sleep almost anywhere incognito. Some of the places I choose to sleep incognito is like hotel parking lots, apartment parking lots, as long as it's not the inner city. I've also done Cracker Barrels where I went ahead and ate dinner and then just stayed there for the night, especially when I'm traveling. I like to use Cracker Barrel because I do like their food. as I travel across the cities. Now, if I choose to stay in the city, that's when I'll choose some of the alternative ways of sleeping. One thing I've learned a long time ago, when I go to sleep, I don't do anything else there. All I do is I bed down and sleep. So my vehicle is already prepared prior to that. Before I go to my place of sleeping, my vehicle is prepared, so I get it all ready for bed, get my bed laid out and everything, and that way when I go to sleep incognito, that's all I'm doing. I'm not making a bunch of ruckus to get noticed. I'm pretty much just sleeping. Now, one of the things that a lot of people have asked me throughout my journey is they'll be talking to me on the phone and say, hey, where are you going to sleep tonight? And I really don't know that until right prior to me going to lay bed down for the night. Because I used to think about it like throughout the day, but then you really don't know where you're going to be when it comes down to bedding down. And it just creates more stress in your life to worry about it and think about it. So really, I don't do that until right prior to going to sleep. One of the things I've learned in this life is not only to become a minimalist, but also, which creates less stress, being organized, because I'm living in a smaller space. But in reality, it's my mobile bedroom. It's only where I sleep. So during the day, the only time I'm in the vehicle is when I'm driving passengers, or if I'm like shooting a video like I am doing now. But normally I don't make a decision or don't try to create any additional stress in my life. Just try to do it as I'm going. So one of the things I used to be fearful about is where you're going to sleep at night, where you're going to go. What about those idle times that you have? What are you going to do? Well, remember, this is my mobile bedroom. But normally my living room and my bedroom, or my dining room and my living room, is all outside. So the world is really my house, and my bedroom is in my vehicle. Now, some people have a problem with that, say I could never do that. But once you make it comfortable, if you can get a good night's sleep, if you can have a good mattress and you can have it comfortable where you don't feel cramped, you can have a good night's sleep. And I sleep very well. Sometimes I'll look in the back and I can't wait until I prepare it to go to bed because I'm tired for the day. Remember that there's different types of nomads. One is being a boondocker, where you be like camping, where you go out where there's not a lot of people, and that's what you prefer. There's a lot of people out there that really prefer camping. I'm not one of those. I don't mind it to do it for an isolated period of time, like, anywhere from 3 days to a week, but I am not the nomad that's a boondocker. City dwellers, which are nomads. I'm not much of a city dweller. Only time I'm in the city is when I'm making money. So if I'm making income and stuff, riding, with rideshare, then I'm in the city because that's where the business is at. The other thing is the traveling nomad. As I was traveling across the country just 6 months ago, one of the things I really thought I was is a traveling nomad. I like the idea of going into different cities and meeting different people and seeing the sights while I'm working. So as I'm doing the rideshare and taking the passengers from point A to point B, I'm getting opportunity to see the sights. I've been to Disneyland, I've been to Disney World, I have been to Epcot Center. I have really got to see the sights on other people's dollar. So that's what I do with the rideshare. It creates additional income for me. And then there's another nomad, would be your vending nomad. There's some nomads that what they do is travel in the winter months. They go south so it's warmer, and then they go ahead and set up shop as far as being an event, so they can sell their goods or their wares, whatever they're selling. Some people do custom jewelry. Some people do food items like salsas and stuff like that. And t-shirts, or maybe they resell t-shirts. But whatever they do, they follow the events. So they go down south in the winter and they go north in the summer. And then they already generally have planned is events that they're going to be in. So really their whole world is from going north and south depending on the period of the year. Some of the other things I to why I became a nomad is because I wanted to eliminate the stress. I was tired of the hustle and bustle, the rat race, the back and forth where you go to work, you come home, you go to work, you come home, you go to work, you come home, and that's it. It's a mundane type of life. And everything you're doing to do, all the money that you're collecting by working is going into your dwelling and your overhead. So I do know a lot of people that they, have a sticks and bricks in a house, but they never go anywhere. They don't have any money to go on vacation. They don't have any money to experience the world that God's intended us all to experience. So in reality, they really don't do what I have done. One thing about being a nomad, I've met nomads, but if someone would say, what is a nomad to you? Most people look at somebody that's homeless. Now, there are homeless nomads, and there are people that choose that, like me. I chose it. It wasn't something that I was pushed into it. But although you tell somebody that this is what you do, the first thing that comes to their mind, oh, you can't afford a house, or you can't afford an apartment. But that's farther from the truth. One thing I do is I don't like taking my money, my hard-earned money, and spending it all on a dwelling. I mean, I think it's idiotic. I think it's crazy. And if I look at most neighborhoods, if it's really, let's say it's really hot out, I look at neighborhoods, nobody's outside. If I look at it cold, nobody's outside. So in reality, their sticks and bricks, or what they choose, or their apartment is really a prison of their own making. And they're locked to it. They got to go back to it. And 9 times out of 10, they don't have money to do other things because everything's being sucked into their living quarters. That's what I didn't want. I had that happen as well. I was planning this for years, and initially I never thought I'd ever do it. But then as time comes on, I said, hey, I can do this. I can make this work. And everything's adjustment. If you become a nomad, let's say you wanted to try it, you can try it for a weekend to see how you feel about it. You can try it for a month. But the whole nice thing about it is you have the freedom to go where you choose to go. There has been cities I went into that I didn't feel welcome, or I felt something was off, and I left. I didn't have to stay there. So one of the things nice about being a traveling nomad is I can go to the cities every year, the same type of cities I like, or explore other ones that maybe I haven't explored as much. That's one thing I do like about it. So my real reason for doing it was to reduce my stress, to become a minimalist, and travel, and be able to see the sights. Now, when the people find out that what I do, and then they get it, they see how I do it, most people tell me, hey, I wish I could do that. And that's really it. Now, when I first started becoming a nomad, I had a company called Green Code 2. I made money by creating leads. Everything was done on remote. I handled the CRM. I handled all the SEO and the website. So I managed all that. And then I made money based on that, based on the sales that I created. That was fine. I sold the company, and that didn't happen. So when I did that, prior to doing that, I was thinking about how can I replace that income. So I'm the man that likes to have income coming in. Even if I had enough money, I think I'd still do it just to keep myself busy. So one thing I do is I make sure that I make enough money with the rideshare, but I do other things. So my background is IT, so I do some IT work for a few companies to make additional income. My focus is to transpose myself from a rideshare driver, which I am a psychologist or a counselor, but then take it and try to divert my income in other ways. One thing I really like is digital marketing. I like SEO. I like Google AdWords. I like managing websites and building them. I like content, branding. All those things I really liked. I have done them for over 30 years. So I took that knowledge I gained when I had my company, because I had two choices when I had my company. I either do it or I pay somebody else to do it. And so I didn't really want to pay somebody else to do it. I wanted to go to the books, I wanted to find out the information, and I wanted to learn myself. And as I learned, I became really good at it. So even the companies that I would start, I had Welton Famous Dogs, where we did for a year, where we were selling hot dogs, vending hot dogs. I liked the idea of doing that. A lot of work, a lot more work than I ever anticipated. And we did mainly private parties because of the type of money that we could generate with that. But I did it for a year and I was done. But in order for me to do that, I had to do Google AdWords. I had to have a website. I had to build a website. I had to put the hyperlinks in it, the SEO. So I did SEO, monetization. I also did keyword search. And then I did digital marketing to generate leads and business for that particular company. And I've done that for every company I've ever owned. So all that knowledge, I thought, why not bring it to the market and see if it's something that could be sellable. So one thing got me thinking is I had a customer that owned a business as a writer, and he was telling me how he had somebody managing the website, but he was having problems because he wasn't getting what he thought he should get. So then we started talking, and long and behold, he became a customer of mine, and he's my customer to this day. Now, I don't make my total income out of digital, being a digital nomad, although that's my hope. My hope is to do that exclusively, and that would be my way to make an income. Now, I hope you got a lot out of this video, and I hope it at least brought up some questions or something resonated within you that think, hey, maybe it's a possibility with you. One thing I do realize in the world that we live in, that everybody is wasteful. I was wasteful. I still, at this day, I'm still purging my life to try to reduce what I have in it. And the reason being is because the more I have in it, the more stress, the more anxiety it comes. You know, I end up getting really a lot of anxiety. Well, since I've been doing a nomad, I haven't been that happiest as I ever have. I get to travel, and people that I haven't seen in a while, friends and family, I can visit because I'm on the road. One thing if I notice with myself is if I need more money, let's say for gas or fuel is more now, I might stay a little bit longer in the city in order to generate enough money, so it makes my travels a little bit easier. When I'm traveling, the one thing about a nomad that I do like, since God kind of put me into this path, I like touching other people's lives, and I have met so many people. I've met people that the way they live or the situation that they're in literally brought tears to my eyes, and then it was placed on my heart to see if I could teach them how to fish rather than fish for them. And I have done that for some homeless people and some nomads that are really strapped financially. So really, that is not only empowers me, but has enlightened my life, and it's really something I really enjoy. There's three things I don't really care for, and when I was in Michigan, I didn't care for it, and that was the humidity, the cold, the wetness, the rain, the amount of rain, and then the bugs in the trees. Now, some people like that, tropical. I'm in Florida right now. I love the sights. I love it. It's a vacation spot, but it would not be a place that I would ever recommend anybody to live here. So what I'm doing now is I'm taking my journey forward, and right now I'm in Florida. I'm visiting a son of mine and his grandchild, and I'm enjoying my time while I'm here, but by the end of the summer I will probably end up leaving and going back south. Now, one thing nice about being a nomad is that you can set up your car, my car as well. I have a solar panel, I have a battery inverter, and a controller. So some people will ask, well, how do you keep cool on those hot nights or the humid nights? And I have a portable air conditioner, as well as I have fans. So I talked in an earlier video how air movement is very essential to do what I do. And so I try to create the air movement and the cool, and it just helps. It gets enough for me to at least be able to sleep. Now, when it gets really cold, I normally sleep in a sleeping bag, and I've never had a problem where I was cold during the night. Now maybe when I came out of the sleeping bag in the morning, I would turn on the vehicle and get the heat going, and then come out of the sleeping bag. But I've never had such an inconvenience that I just hated it. So I've really enjoyed what I've done. I've enjoyed this experience and this journey, and I really don't see myself going back to the sticks and bricks. Now a lot of people younger will tell me, hey, when you get to a certain age you have to do it, but I'm physically fit now. I'm 65 years old. I really don't have physical inabilities to do things, so as for long as that happens and God is with me, then I will continue to do what I have done. If you like this video and the other ones, please go ahead and like it. And if you want to help this channel out, the best thing that you can do is subscribe to it, and that way I'll alert you on new videos that come out. One of the things I do have a passion for is homeless people. This channel, the idea of this channel was created for the idea of homeless people. I see so many homeless people. I talk to so many different homeless people about why they got into the situation they are. Some of the craziest things that I see is some of the rents and some of the mortgages now. So one of the questions I have, because they're so high right now, is how much percentage of collection is happening with mortgages. So for everybody who takes out a mortgage, how many people are being evicted? How many people have collections going after them because of it? And so it's really a sad thing, and I don't know what the answer to that is, other than I do believe that a lot of landlords now are like the bankers used to be. So the bankers wanted you to get a mortgage. Now the landlords want the rent, and they're increasing the rent, trying to maximize their profits. It's sad that they're doing it to it, but they're doing it also with the oil companies too. They got record-breaking profits, and yet they're still increasing gas prices. We don't even have a government that even cares enough to help us. So I realized that a long time ago, and I know it's up to me. If it's left up to anybody, it's left up to us to change that, not for our government. So my bubble's smaller than that, than what the whole world is. So a lot of things I concern myself as things are in front of me, like maybe the homeless person I meet on the road, or the woman that has 2 kids. She lives in an apartment. She's paying $1,500 a month, and my first question is, how do you do it? And their answer to me always is, well, I work 2 jobs, I do hair on the side. So they do whatever they can. The trouble with that is all that effort for work is going right out the door. I mean, right out the window. And that's a really sad thing to see in our country. Anyhow, if you like the video, go ahead and hit the like button, and I really appreciate you staying with me this long. I know this video is a little bit longer than my normal videos, but what I'd like to do in my future videos is come out with topics that we're facing or people are facing in this world that touches my heart. So I'll allow God to convict me of it, and for God to meet people or bring people to me, so maybe I can teach them how to fish, and maybe, just maybe, I might make a difference. So if you support the channel, you'll be supporting the homeless people, because that's really what it's all about, for me generating money so I can not give it to a homeless person, but use the money, like I said, to teach them how to fish and have them change their lives. Thank you very much, and I'll see you at the next video. Bye-bye.